What's up, ladies and gents? Sinister1, your host, and we have more Assassin's Creed Valhalla for my preview event that Ubisoft was gracious enough to allow me to participate in. So again, thank you to them. First up, we're going to be showing you a little bit of Flyting.
Eivor.
Good day, Alvis.
You return. Would you like to try again?
I would. It may be I'll fare better this time.
I believe in you.
Let's try Flyting.
I always put a few coins down as a wager. Most of those who enjoy Flyting have an equal fondness for betting. But today, we'll abstain. Let me begin.
I'm ready.
In Flyting, it's key to match cadence and rhyme. It's as much about sound as it is about time. So be careful in choosing the words that you say.
I'll recall what you taught ere I enter the fray.
A fine answer. Perfect rhyme and a lovely cadence to match my line. Now, let us examine meaning. In Flyting, you'll need to be cutting and keen. It's about wielding wit more than venting your spleen. If I tell you you're foolish and stupid and dull,
then I'd tell you you've nothing inside of your skull.
a good response. I called you stupid and you turned it around. Flyting about wit, you matched my meaning. When you think of too many perfect retorts, use the one that best matches the meaning. Last one. So go then and conquer the world with your wit. Go be clever, be quick, show your spirit and grit. I look eagerly forward to seeing how you fare.
I will flight you with flourish and best you with flair.
Perfect, yes! You could destroy me with such a line. Your flyting's astounding, you're worthy of praise. You swing a fine axe and you turn a good phrase.
Thank you, Alvis. I'll take the lesson to heart.
So I think one of the things that I love the most about that Flyting is it's not just about picking what rhymes, but it's about the rhythm. It's about how many syllables in the words and how they fit together. So even though something might rhyme with what he said, if you choose it, you will not win. You have to make sure you choose the one that rhymes and has the correct timing. And I think that adds a little bit more challenge to the Flyting itself, which is, you know, just something meant to do in a little side activity. But still, I think pretty fun to do. Now, this is your stronghold. This is all that stuff. We're going to go around, talk to a few people, and I'll show it off to you.
And train.
A fine shelter it is. When word gets out, it should attract many jomsviking to fight with us. Which reminds me, a few of your raiders are chomping at the bit in hope of becoming your second. You ought to pick one.
So one of the cool things that you can do in your settlement is create a secondary character that fights with you and that you can use to help you in certain situations. And you can create that character. I mean, it's almost like a regular kind of create a character in a way. You know, you can choose, depending on what type of armor you have unlocked and things like that. You can choose their sex. As you can see, there's many, many more different ones that you can choose from, but I'm just going to choose the Raven Clan armor. But I think that's pretty cool how we can have our own companion to kind of go out the world with us. I think is something that a lot of people are going to really, really enjoy. Now, as I walk around here throughout the settlement, I'm going to skip to a few different places as I don't want to spoil too much about certain things and certain elements. But in my short time with the settlement, all I really can say is it really is just you kind of growing this area step by step. So you'll have specific activities that you can do that will gain, I don't know how you say it, like say for instance, there is a fisher like shop, right? So meaning that if you go out and you decide to partake in the side activity of fishing, well, and you bring back some of those fish to this guy or this little boy, then you can upgrade the fishing hut, and then they will give you like different perks and stuff like that. So you're going to be able to do like little missions or come back with little trinkets for the particular people in the settlement, and then you can upgrade it further and further, which I think is a pretty cool aspect. But I just like the fact that you can create your own little kind of side character there to kind of go with you, and it's going around the world and whatnot, and you can use in situations. There's also an Assassin's Bureau here, which means now we didn't get any context for this, but essentially what it means is that you're going to be able to partake in specific assassination missions that you'll be able to, you know, get from the specific Assassin's Bureau. However, nothing was unlocked to us at the current time, so I can't really speculate on things. Maybe there's been information, but I'm not sure of it. But all I know is that there is an Assassin's Bureau that you'll be able to do specific missions and stuff like that. And yes, you can pet the animals. Every game that has animals should have a feature that allows you to pet them. So again, as I said, I played about, I don't know, I mean, it was close to 6 hours. It was a very long event, and I didn't, unfortunately, get to like really dive in as deep as much as I wanted to, as I was going through my house being pretty much not closed upon, but we came upon an offer and a deal on my house, so I was answering calls at the same time, so I wasn't able to focus as much as I normally do. So I'm kind of like just running around here and stuff, not able to really focus on one particular thing. But what you just saw there was pretty much exactly how it works, is you're going to go up to a location and you can upgrade it with specific items. Now, as far as here goes, this is the stable, which is going to be able to give you bigger and better horses. You guys get the deal.
Growing up, I was a sickly boy with a stammer, and the horses were the only ones who never teased me. Over time, I suppose I came to understand them as well as you may understand people. I listen when they speak, and vice versa. As a stable hand and a gameskeeper, I am happy to help you with any matter concerning your horses or your raven.
So it looks like you'll also be able to maybe upgrade some of your raven's abilities.
Absolutely.
And this is also where you can train. So training just amounts to you have something here, you press a button, and you can become trained in it. Right now, swimming is one of the available things that you could teach your horse to do to be able to be more efficient in water.
I trust you on any horse now.
And it's as easy as that. I mean, you'll have certain specific amount of points that you'll be able to upgrade, of course, and you need to have those amount of points in order to upgrade. So obviously, this is a full-on RPG, so every element of your character and the character that you run around with, your horse, of course. So I'm going to show some free roam gameplay here where we're just going to kind of look around the environments a little bit. I got to say, this is a beautiful game. So for anyone out there that says it's not, they're just smoking some straight-up weed. I don't know. I've seen people out there say that this isn't a good-looking game, and I'm awestruck every single time that I hop on one of the viewpoints, and I'll show you that here. I have a few viewpoints that we're going to take a look at here in a few, and you'll see just the vastness of this area. And again, there was just a small area of where we were actually able to explore in this demo. But inside that area, it was impossible, I mean impossible, to look and do everything in that little area. I didn't even have time to do any of the side missions. Not a single one. The only side thing that I was able to have time to do was getting some gold or whatever, because I wanted to do one of the little gold missions that you can pick up. And that's not because I, wasn't doing stuff. Of course I was. I was free roaming, searching the world, just looking at how beautiful the game is, going through the main quest line, and just doing other stuff like that we were going there. See, I'm a story guy. I love the quests. So the quests to me are the ones that I'm most interested in, but I don't want to spoil too many quests until I actually have the full game, and then we'll get into all of the different quests. But I spend just a lot of time just doing things like this right here, where I'm just looking and just admiring the beautiful area that these creators have made. It's just truly amazing. And one of the cool things about, you know, doing these viewpoints is, you know, obviously they unlock things that are located in the area for you to see where side missions are. And it's got like a little bit of a 3D-ness to the map. Of course, we've seen that in previous Assassin's Creed games. But I just love being at a viewpoint, looking out, seeing the city there, but then I could see, excuse me, something in the background that's telling me, okay, this is where I need to go. I don't have to go to the map to do that. But obviously, these kinds of things that you will be able to toggle in the menus. I mean, it's, if you don't want it, you don't have to have it. And another great thing that they've decided to do is give you an option. It's up to you whether or not you want that assassination button. So it's kind of like this. In previous Assassin's Creed games, if you were able to sneak up behind someone and they didn't have armor over them, you know, covering up their naughty bits or whatever, that you could just immediately assassinate them. Well, in this game, it's giving you the option to take that off and allow you to be able to do that. Meaning that no matter what level you are, if you're sneakily able to get up to someone, you will be able to kill them if you set that on. It's a button that you can press. Now, it doesn't have anything to do with difficulty or anything like that. It's just for the old Assassin's Creed fans like myself who want to feel like there's no reason why when I take the time to sneak up on an enemy and they don't know that I'm there, that I'm able to take them out in a stealthy manner, even though they might, you know, be way above me as far as skill and that kind of thing. It's just, I'm so glad that they put back in there. They're actually listening to the fans, but of course they are. This is the team that did Black Flag and Origins, so this right here was the whole area that we got to look around in, and all I can say is it's absolutely massive. To go from one side of the area where I was to the very, very opposite side takes a good 5-6 minutes just to do that one tiny area. But you guys know, I mean, most Assassin's Creed games as of late have been massive, massive worlds, so that should be no different. One of the cool things that I stumbled upon was this right here. So all I wanted to do was just take a vast look at the beautifulness of, you know, like the snow-capped mountains and whatnot. And I saw these right here. So I was like, all right, let me go ahead and pick up the iron. But it's got this little button that allows you to do panoramic view. And just zooms out. And you are still in full control of your character. And you just... oh, I still get goosebumps when I'm taking a look at this. And I know you're not seeing it in the highest of quality because we can only record at like 15 megabytes a second because these were streamed. Everything you're seeing me do, I was streaming from another PC that was thousands of miles away. So the quality isn't going to be able to be as good because it's only in 1080. So obviously when you see my walkthrough, it's going to be in glorious 4K, 60 FPS. But even still... it's just amazing just to do these panoramic shots, and I absolutely love it. Another really, really cool thing that I haven't mentioned yet is the fact that the game will have a dynamic way of choosing male or female. So you can either choose male or choose female, completely up to you. But it also has an option that allows the game, based on the situation, based on your strength, based on certain circumstances, whether your character will go into the game as a male or as a female. This is going to be the option that I pick. I'm not going to choose male and I'm not going to choose female. I'm going to choose the option that lets the game dynamically pick for you based on the situation that is happening in the game. Now, there'll be some type of explanation as to why this is, why you're able to do this, because I fully don't understand it yet. But I think that's pretty cool that, you know, you might go into the game one time and you're the male, and then the next time you load it up, you're going to be the female, you know, based off whatever situation is happening in the game. And again, I don't know why it allows you to do that, but once, you know, we find out, obviously I'll say something. Or if you already know why in the comments, let me know below. But yes, I mean, look at this. It's just so beautiful. You really get that feeling of fall, that feeling of Halloween, you know, it's coming up on us. And I just can't believe it's already October. This year has just been crazy. And I'm just so glad that we're going to get, you know, a game like this here at the end of this year. You know, I'm going to be spending hours and hours and hours into this. And I'm not going to let this one fall. I'm not going to let this game be a part of, you know, something I don't finish. This is... I mean, this is the last type of Assassin's Creed game like this, I'm sure, as they're probably going to reinvent after this. And I want to make sure that I get as much content for Assassin's Creed. So when this game does release, you can expect a lot of footage. Also, you can expect a lot of footage on next gen. I'm probably going to get the Xbox version, just because I always like to play on Xbox because of the controller. I just prefer the controller more than I do the PlayStation controller. But all of the games are backwards compatible, or should I say forwards compatible, meaning that if you get this version, if you get the Xbox version or the Xbox One version or the PS4 version, you will be able to play the next gen versions. You upgrade them for free, so that's always a plus. And I can't wait for that, because I'm going to try those on that. But yes, so I've pretty much decided that I'm going to play them on Xbox, because I just want that. I don't have to worry too much about PC stuff that can happen, whatever. And but yeah, so that's going to be my console, I think, for choice, is going to be Xbox for Assassin's Creed Valhalla. And probably maybe even play a little bit of PC too, just because I like to test out, different things, so I can take a look at ray tracing and all that stuff. But I mean, just every time I look at this, it's just so amazing. And I fall in love with it over and over again. And I know 2 years ago, or should I say 3 years ago, I think it was, when Origins came out, I did so many extensive little videos where I would showcase this and showcase that. I just didn't have the time to do it. Things in my life have been so crazy, so unfortunately I didn't have very explanative videos for you guys, but I at least wanted to get some footage out there for you. Now, the next part that I'm going to show you here is going to be a little bit of the social stealth. Now, I could have went into it a little bit more, but I didn't really go into it too much, because nothing really came. There wasn't a mission that I really had to utilize social stealth too much in the missions that we got to do. We only got to do a few missions, but they were very long missions, but they were more action kind of missions. So this is a location where it's not like we are dead on arrival. So only about half of this area is open to us being in this area. And then once you get into a certain point, well, then they're suspicious of you. They're not going to come right after you if they see you immediately. It's more of a, you got a few seconds to get out of dodge before they see you, just like that, right? So this was the first time that I got to experience a little bit of the social stealth. Also, I want to make a note that if you see some hitches, some frame rate drops, it is not because of the game itself. It is because the PC that was running this game, that was streaming this game, pretty much crashed on me, and I didn't fix it until after. So I have other footage that runs perfectly smooth, but the PC needed to be restart, and at some points, this was towards the beginning of my gameplay, as this is the first mission we did, which is the Sons of Ragnar. And that's why you'll see some type of hitches here and there, but it's just based off of the fact that the PC was not running very well until they did a restart on the PC. But as you can see, social stealth is back. The blending in is back. It's not exactly like you think. So if you remember, like in Assassin's Creed 2, if you wanted to blend in with a group, you just walked into that group and then their circle appeared around you and you were blending in. Well, from what I've seen, this is your social stealth. You got to click the bend in, or the blend, I keep saying bend, the blend in button, and then from that point, it doesn't walk for you or anything like that. You need to walk with the group. I didn't see a thing where it was like 2 or 3 people chilling and you could just get in between them and then you're like, it's all of a sudden you're a part of a group. I didn't see that, unfortunately. So that's going to be it as far as my own commentary. I'm going to leave the rest showing you a little showcase of what happens when you just leave Eivor, like kind of not moving around or anything like that. I still have more footage to show off. I'm just kind of spacing it out to get you guys all excited for what's to come in Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Thanks again to Ubisoft for allowing me to show this off to you guys. Thank you again for watching. I really do hope you enjoy. I hope you stick around for the walkthrough that we do because it would mean a lot to me, and it's always my pleasure to bring you more Assassin's Creed. So we'll see you on the next one. Peace.